As Stanbic Bank, we have made a bold decision to embed sustainability in our strategic growth plans as we move into the future. Sustainability is not just a buzzword, it's an integral part of the way we operate, all our governance framework, and the development of our products and services. This is in line with our purpose that Zimbabwe is our home. We drive here growth.
Hello and good evening. You are watching NewsPlus right here on ZTN Prime. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Faith Nyaude. A quick look at stories making the headlines tonight. President Mnangagwa has said Zimbabwe should fully unleash its potential as a unitary state by embracing different cultures and tap into the potential of all communities to add impetus to the march towards a modern, industrialized and prosperous nation. NewsPlus gives you extracts from his speech at the official launch of the National Culture Month in Masvingo Province. We shall also give you the latest updates on the tobacco marketing season with indications of some positive developments at the auction floors. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has given a post-mortem of his charged meeting with United States of America President Donald Trump in Washington yesterday. That story and more in our look at stories beyond our borders. And in sport, it already looks like a mountain to climb for Zimbabwe in trying to limit England on day 2 of the historic Test match. Stay tuned for further analysis of that match with our England-based correspondent, Brighton Zawi. In our first report this evening, SADC member states are pushing for trans-frontier conservation areas to complement efforts in promoting local communities and fostering rural development. This came out during the last session of the SADC Council of Ministers meeting that was held in Harare today.
Trans-frontier conservation areas are catalysts that strengthen cultural preservation, community empowerment, environmental diplomacy, amongst others. As SADC celebrates 25 years in advancing regional conservation under the Strategic Trans-Frontier Conservation Areas framework, the bloc recognizes the exceptional value of TFCAs in enforcing regional cooperation and sustainable development.
Of the TFCAs as beacons of regional cooperation and sustainable development. And they call for stronger collaboration among stakeholders to elevate TFCAs to higher levels.
As we celebrate the 25-year milestone, I look forward to continued collaboration and enhanced partnership in the years ahead. It is through regional cooperation that the natural wealth of Southern Africa can be best conserved and utilized for the benefit of its people.
The celebration of the 25 years in conservation has sparked conversations on how regional conservation initiatives can remain people-centered and benefit local communities even further. For years, the trans-frontier conservation areas have created employment for the local folk, but rural development and community empowerment remain significantly low. It has since been noted that there's still a gap in providing meaningful equity and shared prosperity between the local settlers and the TFCAs. It is against this background that SADC has called on TFCAs to prioritize equal partnership with local communities.
Furthermore, we must commit to deepening the inclusion of local communities, ensuring that they are not just beneficiaries, but equal partners, owners in conservation and development. It is for whom we work, it's for whom we toil, it's for whom we have structures.
Political will is viewed as a catalyst to economic growth, especially for local communities.
This program serves as a strategic platform for SADC member states to collaborate in managing shared ecological resources, promoting peace and security, and advancing rural development and sustainable tourism. I therefore remain confident that the outcomes of this meeting will speak to the TFCA program itself and strengthen our collective resolve to protect and sustainably manage our cherished natural resources for the benefit of present and future generations.
SADC believes with determination and commitment, TFCAs can provide significant economic development to local communities while ensuring environmental sustainability. For ZTN Prime, I am Sitachisiwe Gwaza.
Meanwhile, Zimbabwe has signed a Raptors Memorandum of Understanding for the conservation of migratory birds of prey in Africa and Eurasia. The agreement will facilitate a coordinated strategy to promote the conservation of vultures. It is expected to assist the country to partake in the decision-making processes relating to the protection of birds of prey. This event took place on the sidelines of the SADC Council of Ministers meeting in Harare.
This MOU is a great achievement for Zimbabwe, a country with a proud and traceable history of conservation in this part of the world. It is widely known that Zimbabwe has a long-standing conservation interest in bird species in general and is already a member of the Convention on the Conservation of Migratory Species of wild animals. Hence, it is logical to accede to one of these specialized instruments of raptors. I am therefore extremely delighted and filled with a great sense of pride that we are finally here today with both our signatures on the MOU today. This MOU represents more than just an instrument. It marks a new milestone for Zimbabwe in the conservation of raptors.
The signing of the Memorandum of Understanding displays a commitment to improve the global biodiversity conservation.
It's a great honor, as I said, and a privilege to be here today to mark a very significant milestone as Zimbabwe is becoming the 66th signatory to the Memorandum of Understanding. And this is a historical moment because not only for Zimbabwe but also for the global raptor conservation community. With Zimbabwe's signature, we have now surpassed more than 50, very important milestones of more than 50% of the range states have signed the Raptor MOU. And this reflects a growing global momentum and shared responsibility for protecting these remarkable birds, which are incredibly important in monitoring the quality of our environment. Zimbabwe's accession is especially symbolic because the raptor is displayed in the national flag, as the minister has already remembered. And this powerful representation indicates a cultural and ecological value that Zimbabwe puts into the conservation of migratory species and raptors in particular.
Now, Zimbabwe's parliament is taking a leap into the future by developing AI-powered chatbots to boost citizen engagement and access to parliamentary information. Speaker of Parliament, Advocate Jacob Mudenda, says these chatbots will allow the public to tap into constituency information, parliamentary processes, legislation, as well as civic participation details right from their smartphones. Advocate Mudenda reviewed this while addressing legislators and parliament staff at the Artificial Intelligence Mini-Symposium earlier today.
Upon completion, members of the public should be able to ask questions about parliamentary proceedings, understand legislative processes, or learn about civic engagement opportunities through their smartphones.
The replica symposium is a precursor to the 57th Plenary Assembly of the SADC Parliamentary Forum, which Zimbabwe will host in Victoria Falls next week. Today's mini-symposium's outcomes will likely be fed into the broader discussions at the SADC PF next week. Now, in other news, Zimbabwe's tobacco sector is enjoying a remarkable season with higher sales volumes and smiling farmers. The leaf has garnered $720.3 million compared to $580.8 million in 53 days, indicating a 24% increase this marketing season. But while the Ministry of Agriculture is optimistic about continued growth, it says the journey doesn't end at the auction floors and is now shifting focus towards value addition and investment opportunities. Our business correspondent, Melissa Chachkobo, has the details.
From seed to success, tobacco farmers are enjoying a lucrative season. Meet Forget Mateaunga, a farmer from Marondera who is enjoying fruits of a good season. She is not only increasing her farming capacity, but also splurging on luxuries for her family.
Ndinofara TSF gore rineri irikutitengera fodya yedu zvakanaka. Taita mari gore rineri. Inini mapriming chaiwo ndakatotenga mafertilizer angu, ndikakwanisa kutenga mombe dzangu. Saka aiwa TSF gore rineri irikutenga fodya zvakanaka.
A Mutora Shanga farmer, Nevi Madzianyanja, also shares her experience. She is happy with the price the golden leaf is fetching.
Aiwa tiri kufara nemapuraisi ari kutengwa nekutengwa fodya. Aiwa fodya iri kutengwa zviri kunakidza zvokuti toda kutodzokera mumunda, tichadzokera mumunda takafara nokuti mapuraisi ari kuiswa pafodya aiwa akanaka zvo.
Shelton Matengarufu, another farmer from Rusape, is happy with the prices. However, he has a concern about payment. He wants to receive payment in foreign currency only, citing the issue conversion rate to buy inputs.
Yes, zvakaita kudhara zviya zvondikangotengesa fodya yangu ikabudisa 1000 ndongwana 1000 rangu richi ari ma-US.
The Ministry of Agriculture is now looking at a bigger picture. While most of Zimbabwe's tobacco is exported in raw form, the government is shifting gears toward local processing and manufacturing to capture more revenue from the value chain.
We have seen a few companies on board to invest in terms of value chain processing. We are also seeing investments in terms of cigarette manufacturing. So very excited. We continue, of course, to want localize the funding of tobacco, so we minimize the instance of export of the tobacco leaf itself to cover costs.
With over 213.3 million kilograms of tobacco sold so far this season, a 29% increase from last year, Zimbabwe's golden leaf is not just yielding profits, but increasing the country's foreign currency. Reporting for ZTM Prime, I'm Melissa Chatkubo in Harare.
Still on the golden leaf, a major milestone for the tobacco industry. The first ever naturally cured Virginia, or NVC, tobacco auction floor has been opened in Marula, Mangwe district in Matabeleland South. The move marks a significant step in decentralizing tobacco farming in Zimbabwe.
Scores of farmers began selling their tobacco at the new site, the Bitumen World Training Center in Marula, early morning. By midday, over 260 bales had already been delivered, each averaging around 80 kilograms. This pioneering commercial project, now in its second season, started with just 17 local villages. Today, more than 160 farmers from Mangwe and Bulilima districts are participating. Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board Chairman Patrick Devenish said the naturally cured Virginia tobacco variety is cured naturally using the sun, cutting out the need for firewood or coal. This not only reduces environmental impacts but also lowers production costs, aligning with national sustainability goals.
So it's a huge opportunity, and this is putting, even on a hectare, you're putting another $2,500, $3,000 in the pocket of a farmer, which is a huge amount of money for people who live in marginal areas.
Zimbabwe's tobacco output continues to grow, with Matabeleland South now joining traditional growing areas like Mashonaland and Manicaland. The Deputy Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Honorable Vangelis Haritatos, held the program for decentralizing commercial agribusiness and bringing empowerment to Mat South farmers.
By unlocking opportunities in the previously underserved region, TIMB and Atlas Agri are making agriculture not just a profession, but a vehicle for rural transformation. Only a few seasons ago, we heard from Atlas Agri, their vision, their future goals, and we are so happy, like our president, that they have done exactly what they've promised.
Last season, despite harsh El Nino conditions, the pilot project produced 9,000 kilograms of tobacco from 10 hectares. This year, farmers are optimistic and are happy with what they have managed to do so far.
ngikhangelela amabheli amangafika kobo-20 ngendlela engiyenze ngayo namuhla ngabuya lamabheli ayi-4 ngangikhangela isivuno sami esiserious ngakwanisa ukuthi ngibe lamabheli amanga-20.
Khona umsebenzi osebenzekayo noma ubizima kodwa uyasebenzeka. Okuhle ngomsebenzi lo wetobacco ukuthi employ ama-youth akhona abesebenza ekhaya ngale tobacco.
Put about 20 grapes, roughly about 2,200 kgs for this show for now. We still have a lot of tobacco.
Still, challenges remain. Many farmers rely on hand pumps and must manually shield crops from frost and rain. TIMB, in partnership with Agritest and Atlas Agri, is training farmers and extension officers to boost yields and quality through best farming practices.
The initiative was set forth over 5 years ago, and Atlas Agri born 3 seasons ago, and we are fully supporting the transformation plan and furthering the development of the tobacco trade within the Zimbabwean community, hence moving all the way down into the Matabeleland South region where we're growing a natural Virginia.
The success on NCV tobacco in Marula signals not only the growth of a sustainable and profitable crop, but also the empowerment of rural communities through agriculture. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Marula, Matabeleland South Province.
A call to tap into our rich heritage to spur development. We give you details of the president's speech where he gave in Rusunungugu Clinic in Chiredzi East today. Stay with us.
Stuck on you. Ooh, obsessed with you. I'm obsessed.
With Showmax, your favorite characters now follow you anywhere. Download it today and watch the best in local, international, and everything in between.
Welcome back. You are still watching NewsPlus. Now, President Mnangagwa has said Zimbabwe should fully unleash its potential as a unitary state by embracing different cultures, in the process tapping into the potential of all communities to add impetus to the march towards a modern, industrialized and prosperous nation. Speaking at Rusunungugu Clinic in Chiredzi East today, where he officially launched the National Culture Month, the president underscored the importance of culture in helping a nation shape its unique identity while promoting unity, prosperity and inclusive growth.
In his address, President Mnangagwa underscored the importance of culture in helping a nation shape its unique identity while promoting unity, prosperity and inclusive growth. He called on Zimbabweans to build on their cultural diversity to sustain strength and unity as the country angles for an upper middle income society status by 2030.
The National Culture Month is celebration of our rich cultural heritage and a reaffirmation of our identity as Zimbabweans. Through these commemorations, we are reminded of the importance of promoting and safeguarding our diverse traditions for future generations to benefit.
President Mnangagwa challenged citizens to take pride in their unique and distinct culture that gives them an identity they must be proud of always. The president said this year's National Culture Month theme, celebrating indigenous voices, seeks to add gravitas to the drive to make sure all Zimbabweans are stockholders in the march towards prosperity underpinned by inclusive growth.
Munyika medu tiri vanhu vamwe netsika dzedu neunhu hwedu kubva kuplum-tree kusvika kwaMutare tichibva kubhaibheri kusvika kuchirungu tsika dzedu dzose dzakakosha.
The president said through promoting and upholding culture, Zimbabwe will be setting a solid foundation for future generations to revel in their rich cultural heritage that defines them as a unique people.
Ngati dadei nekuva vanhu vatema. Musashuvira kuva murungu. Mwari akasika vanhu vakavaka nyika yavo. Akasika vatema vakapiwa nyika yavo. Zvino akasikwa mutemo oshuva zvopa vamwe Mwari anokusora. Let us be proud of who we are as Zimbabweans and an African people.
He said the holding of celebrations to mark the National Culture Month in all the country's 10 provinces dovetails with the Second Republic's decentralization and devolution agenda, which also speaks to the living no one and no place behind mantra. He also emphasized the importance of the creative and cultural industries in driving aggregate national economic growth and fostering national unity.
Under the Second Republic, we have rolled out various programs and activities to encourage the use of indigenous languages within Zimbabwe as one unitary state. Every single dialect in our country is important. It must be preserved.
President Mnangagwa said government is also prioritizing the local film industry through the development of studios to boost the local film industry, along with funding for infrastructure, equipment, and capacity building programs for filmmakers. He underscored the importance of indigenous content in film, television, and digital media in amplifying Zimbabwe's diverse cultures.
Additionally, the development of film studios to boost the local film industry, along with funding for infrastructure, equipment, and capacity building programs for filmmakers are being supported and prioritized.
President Mnangagwa challenged the media to help create a morally upright society through broadcasting and editorial policies bent on promoting the nation's moral fabric.
The media should never be used to promote moral decadence or a national side that goes against the grain of our traditions, our culture, our values, and our norms. While our commemorations continue to chronicle our success stories in cultural niceness,
Zimbabwe's cultural renaissance should never be blemished by a proliferation of societal ills such as drug and substance abuse, child marriages, and gender-based violence, with President Mnangagwa also challenging traditional leaders to be at the forefront of preserving the country's culture and traditions.
We still grapple with societal ills affecting the moral fabric of our nation. These include drug and substance abuse, gender-based violence, child pregnancies, and early child marriages, among others.
Now, the upgrading of the Murewa Mudacheche Road, which connects Uzumba Maramba-Pfungwe District in Mashonaland East Province and Rushinga District in Mashonaland Central Province, is currently underway, with the contractor having completed road clearings. The 65-kilometer road stretch from Tawa Business Center to Mazoe Bridge connects Uzumba Maramba-Pfungwe District in Mashonaland East Province and Rushinga District in Mashonaland Central Province. Mashonaland East Provincial Affairs and Devolution Minister Advocate Itai Ndudzo inspected the site and commended the progress on the project.
As you know, that from Tawa to Mazoe Bridge is a stretch of 65 kilometers that remained outstanding in terms of it being tarred. But the work has commenced in earnest, and we are experiencing excellent progress on the first stretch of 8.8 kilometers where the road construction is ongoing. We have road making equipment on site, the culverts are being made on site, the workmen are busy, the designs are busy, the funding is available, everything is looking positive, and work is on schedule. Before the end of 2025, we will have completed the first 8.8 stretch, and then we'll commence work on the remainder of the stretch.
Minombada Dam in Muzarabani, Zimbabwe's Mashonaland Central Province, has been making steady progress despite funding challenges. This came out during a tour by the Special Advisor to the President on monitoring the implementation of government programs and projects, Dr. Joram Gumbo, this Thursday. As the government adopts a two-track approach to maintain the momentum of its implementation, Mbada Dam, which is designed to hold 140 cubic meters of water upon completion, is seen as a potential boost to economic growth.
It is a very important project, not only for the community around this area, but also for the country as a whole, because it will provide a lot of benefits, including the enhancement of water supply to the community and also to the nearby business center, Centenary Business Center. And also there will be some irrigation which will actually enhance food security. If completed, there will also be some attraction for tourism in this area. There can also be a possibility of producing power up to about 800 kilowatts.
This project aims to be a transformative catalyst for inclusive growth, food security, and sustainable development. It has also been given the community hope.
Damu iri rangarambotizi nokudagwa kuti pane dzimwe nguva kushayikwa kwemari, asi taane tarisiro kana taane chidimbo chokuti vapresident vachatibatsira kuti dhamu redu ripere, nokuti ndiro ratiri kutarisira muSentinari, ndiro ratiri kutarisira muZarabani nezvimwe zvese zvakawande.
Kimberly Chimbalanga gives us a courts and crime update.
Incarcerated serial armed robber Itai Madongo has been slapped with another 10-year jail term for armed robbery. Madongo, who is already serving 27 years for a series of robbery and rape cases, was slapped with 12 more years. 1 year was suspended on condition of good behavior and 3 months suspended for restitution. He went to the complainant's house armed with a pistol before manhandling a domestic worker while demanding money. Madongo ransacked the house and went away with valuables worth $335. Moving on, a Southern Africa anti-corruption and member of the police constabulary, Edmond Nzompe, has appeared in court after he tried to extort money from the complainant. He was remanded in custody for criminal abuse of duty as a public officer. Allegations are that Nzombe lied that he was in a position to assist the complainant to repossess a residential stands which had been taken from her. He further lied that he was going to coordinate with SAC officers and introduced her to one Ushe who was said to be a SAC official going to open a docket for the case. Accused was allegedly given $1,000 to facilitate a swift handling of the case and continued to demand more. He was then given $200 trap money, which led to his arrest.
Still at the courts, an Epworth man, Achlav Gororo, has been brought before the court after he was found in possession of 3 pieces of core-armored electricity cables. It is alleged that Gororo was approached by a team of Neighborhood Watch Committee who insisted on checking and confirming if he was a real security guard. Allegations are that he jumped into his vehicle and sped away, prompting a chase from the Neighborhood Watch team. The team found the electricity cables in his car, which he had abandoned. He was arrested after he went to the police station to report that he had been robbed of his car. Gororo will be back in court on May 23 for bail application. For TN Prime, I'm Kimberly Chimbalanga in Harare.
A post-mortem of the meeting that President Cyril Ramaphosa had with President Donald Trump when you take a look at news from beyond our borders after this.
I guess I blew it.
You couldn't advise him anything. He would just look at you and say, so who do you think you are?
We were just like really spoilt.
And then they just give me the receipt and I'd pay.
The guy walks in one day and then he says that he wants to make a movie.
He was blowing the money.
There was just like this habit that he had where as soon as he got money, it was gone.
I just didn't have the skills or the experience.
This money, I could see it disappear so fast.
Now look at news from around the world. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa admitted many were concerned he could have a Zelensky moment with Donald Trump, but said that the ambush he had endured had been nothing close to that. During their meeting on Wednesday with the media, Trump showed Ramaphosa video footage and printouts suggesting there was a white genocide of farmers in his country. Earlier, the US president had said that the white South Africans are fleeing the country because of the violence and racist laws, while Ramaphosa responded that the views of those shown in the video, including some seen chanting "kill the Boer, kill the farmer," were not those of his government.
The issue that he kept raising, or he raised prominently, is the issue of genocide. And when he was asked by one of you, and thank God one of you asked, whether he was convinced that there was genocide, he says, no, he's not convinced. Much as he flighted the video and all those press clippings. And in the end, I mean, I do believe that there's doubt and disbelief in his head about all this. And I think today's meeting, and particularly when he heard from the other members of the delegation.
In Tanzania, access to the social media platform X has been restricted after some official accounts of government and private institutions were targeted by hackers. On Tuesday, the official police account was compromised with sexually explicit material and false information that the president had died being posted. The police disassociated itself from the information and said an investigation was underway to identify those responsible. Government spokesman Gerson Msingwa warned those responsible that immediate action would be taken. In Algeria, the Islamic Development Bank has held its annual meetings for the first time in 24 years, with a focus on expanding investment in Africa. The Saudi-based bank's annual meeting brought investors from across the Muslim world looking for business opportunities in the region to the Algerian capital, Algiers. Pursuing its sustainable development goals, Algeria announced dedicating 1 million hectares of land in its south to foreign investment in agriculture. The ISDB and Algeria together are eyeing to boost intra-African trade through investing in infrastructure required to enhance continental connectivity.
Food processing and food industries are also within our priorities. Another sector that has shown great demand for is renewable energy. We are proceeding to give major investment opportunities in this field. Tourism is an industry that is very promising. It is a foreign currency generator with a massive added value to our economy.
Africa has been one of the largest beneficiaries of our services, both on the insurance side, on the financing side, and we see still huge potential to support this area because the demand, as you know, in Africa is huge for especially infrastructure that connect intra-African countries, which is still a big challenge, and this is key for any investment to come to any African countries.
In Gaza, more than 90 lorry loads of humanitarian aid have been collected by UN teams inside the Gaza Strip 3 days after Israel eased an 11-week-long blockade. The aid, which included flour, baby food and medical equipment, was picked up from the Kerem Shalom crossing on Wednesday night and taken to warehouses for distribution. Pictures showed a bakery producing bread with some of the flour. The UN said that the delays were due to insecurity along the single-access route, which the Israeli military had approved. Israeli authorities said they allowed an additional 100 lorry loads through Kerem Shalom on Wednesday. However, the UN said it was nowhere near enough to meet the vast needs in Gaza. The U.S. Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to revoke legal protections for over 300,000 Venezuelan asylum seekers, sparking widespread concern about migrant communities across the United States. In San Antonio, Texas, home to a large Venezuelan community, tensions are high following the ruling.
We are all seen as criminals. A minority of Venezuelans have turned to crime here. And now we are all being labelled as bad people.
I'm going to self-deport. I'd rather leave on my own than be arrested and ejected as if I were a criminal. I don't understand all this hatred against immigrants. We're the ones who keep this country afloat.
Kotko assures farmers that all dues are going to be paid. Details when we take a look at Business News.
The future is now and is powered by artificial intelligence. Zim Papers proudly presents the 2025 AI Conference, a groundbreaking event happening on the 30th of May in Mutare at Manicaland State University of Applied Sciences. Join leading AI experts, researchers, innovators, and institutions already applying artificial intelligence to solve real-world challenges. From media and agriculture to education and finance. Whether you are a business stakeholder, a tech enthusiast, a student, or simply curious about how AI is changing our world, this conference is for you. Don't miss this opportunity to learn, connect, and be part of Zimbabwe's digital future. For marketing and exhibition, contact Tendai Mberibe on 0772 671 488. Zim Papers AI Conference 2025. Advancing innovation, empowering Zimbabwe.
The Phoenix Podcast has always brought you the best of the best.
I missed on that blessing, but I also regained it in some way.
In seasons 1 and 2, we introduced you to the industry's brightest stars, the ones at the top of their game, the creme de la creme. But season 3 promises to be even more exciting. We're bringing you even more fascinating guests, including the renowned farmer, Patrick Matadi.
kushinga nekuziya chinango chakandida kuita.
And to top it all off, our very own host, Ken Sharp, will be stepping out of the interviewer's chair and into the hot seat as he gets interviewed by a surprise guest host.
From the boss, we've been beaten, but we're not beaten yet. We can still rise.
Konapo Konapo, Ipapo Ipapo, ZTN Prime, DSTV Channel 294, the place to be.
Welcome back. Now in our look at business news tonight. Zimbabwe's largest cotton firm, Kotco, has assured farmers that outstanding dues from the 2023 and 2024 marketing seasons will be paid. The company owes farmers about $5.6 million from the 2023 marketing season and over 436,000 ZiG from the 2024 season. Kotco Chief Operating Officer Munyaradzi Chikasha said they are aware of farmers' plight and are working towards settling the outstanding payments. Chikasha said for the 2025 marketing season, the company requires $17 million to buy the crop from farmers. The marketing season starts on the 1st of June.
It was a very difficult year for us, but I want to assure all the farmers that are owed from those seasons that we are doing everything possible to make sure everyone is paid what they are owed. The good thing is the money is indexed in USD and the farmer would still get a full value.
Still in business, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce today held a joint launch of the Zimbabwe E-Trade Readiness Assessment, the National Productive Capacities Gap Assessment, and the Holistic Productive Capacities Development Program. In partnership with development partners, these are meant to foster industrial development in the country. Speaking at the launch, the Chief Director in the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Dr. Douglas Runyoa, said the government is committed toward creating a business-friendly operating environment.
I'm pleased to note that this assessment totally resonates with our Zimbabwe Industrial Reconstruction and Growth Plan, ZIRGIP 2024-2025. which focuses on growth opportunities in the industry as we proceed to develop the Zimbabwe Industrial Development Plan 2 for the years 2026 to 2030. The work that lies ahead will thus leverage on the National Productive Capacity Gap Assessment, whose report we are also launching today. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we expect to lead the formulation of the e-commerce strategy for Zimbabwe to serve the much-needed campus guide for Zimbabwe to navigate the rich e-commerce and digital economy system for the good of our economy, the business sector, and citizens.
Resident representative for the United Nations Development Programme, Ayodele Odusola, reaffirmed their commitment at partnering with Zimbabwe for Zimbabwe's economic development.
The significance of today's event is quite huge, not only for Zimbabwe but for Africa, particularly with respect to the e-trade readiness as well as the productive capacity index that is being launched today. The e-trade readiness is really very important for Africa to be really prepared for the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. And we believe if we are able to implement it effectively in Zimbabwe, it will really anchor the integration of Zimbabwe economy to SADC economy and the African economy. And on the other one, the capacity, what they call the Productive Capacity Index, PCI, that has been launched, we believe it is really critical for economies, for developing countries like Zimbabwe to use it to manage a national development agenda. Without it, it will be difficult for us to even achieve what we are going to be doing in National Development Strategy 2, particularly achieving the goal of becoming what they call an upper middle income society by 2030.
The Ministry of Finance has expressed satisfaction with the fiscal regime in place, which has been characterized by fiscal consolidation and fiscal discipline. Speaking at the recent EU Zim Business Forum, Andrew Vumbe, a director in the Ministry of Finance, said the fiscal regime is complementary to the monetary policy towards the country's macroeconomic stability.
I think over the past 3-4 years, the fiscal has contributed to monetary instability, but as of now, we have fiscal discipline where we have targeted our budget deficit to be a maximum of 3% 3% of GDP per year, and over the past 5 years we've managed to keep the budget below this 3% threshold, and for this year we are projecting a 0.4% budget deficit as a percentage of GDP. So we're bringing back discipline in the fiscal management and also ensuring that the fiscus contributes to stability, to macroeconomic stability. On the exchange rate front, there have been serious reforms in terms of making sure that the market plays a significant role in price discovery of the exchange rate, and we are now using what we call the willing seller, willing buyer interbank market, where the sellers and buyers are coming together and determining the foreign exchange rate.
Zimbabwe may be sitting on a gold mine, literally, but without the right funding, the country could miss out on the full benefits of record global gold prices. That was the warning from Chamber of Mines President Thomas Gono, speaking at the industry's annual general meeting in Victoria Falls today. Gono says the sector needs an urgent injection of at least $1 billion in fresh capital to scale up production and meet the government's ambitious target of producing 100 tons of gold per year. Zimbabwe's gold output in recent years has hovered around the 30-ton mark.
Inadequate foreign exchange allocation for the procurement of critical production inputs have constrained growth in the gold sector. Like broader mining industry, the gold sector operates in a high-cost environment. Collective efforts are urgently needed to reduce operating costs so that country fully benefits from the currently favorable commodity prices. Should prices soften, as they inevitably do, the sector may face severe challenges. At present, the local gold industry operates below capacity, constrained by limited access to capital for both operations and expansion. Most operators continue to rely on antiquated equipment, severely undermining efficiency and cost effectiveness.
The recently held EU-Zimbabwe Business Forum is already showing signs of impact, with multiple investment proposals now on the table. Speaking to ZTN Prime, European Union Ambassador to Zimbabwe, Jobst von Kirkman, described the forum as a clear success, confirming that the Zimbabwe Investment and Development Agency, ZIDA, has received several concrete expressions of interest from European firms.
I think what we take from that, we had 1,600 meetings. Imagine that, on platforms, B2B, on online, spontaneous meetings. So lots of businesses met. We have heard from CEDA yesterday that there are firm offers of several million euros for companies to work together. So I think that's a very concrete outcome. But I would also like to say that CEDA and also the European Union, we keep this platform open and we will follow up on potential joint ventures between European companies and Zimbabwean companies. And of course we want that there are a lot of deals in the next couple of months.
In our look at entertainment news tonight, the iconic Roar of Victoria Falls will compete with a different kind of thunder this Africa Day, as South African rap sensation Casper Nyovest prepares to headline a highly anticipated concert at Cotton Club. The event in the resort city is shaping up to be one of the year's most significant cultural showcases for fans of African music. Rising star Calvin Mangena is expected to also deliver a soulful set. Now, the National Gallery of Zimbabwe in Harare is displaying Portraits of Zimbabwe, which is an exhibition of over 80 photographic prints by the late Chicago GT. The exhibition will be open to the public on the 30th of May and is made possible by the support of the Embassy of the United States of America. As an artist, journalist and photographer, GT's vision was inspired by the beauty and culture of Zimbabwe. Chicago Tawana GT was born on the 17th of September 1961 in Shamba, Zimbabwe. He died on the 2nd of September in 1995. And I will give you some sporting action.
It's time for the main event. This is incredible. He has written it, and the dream lives on. I cannot believe it.
Stay connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
Now, when I look at sport, we start off with some cricket with Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley and Ollie Pope all having reached centuries to help England fly high on day one of their once-off test match first innings against Zimbabwe at the Trent Bridge on Thursday. Wesley Madevere, Sikandar Raza and Blessing Muzarabani got Zimbabwe's wickets. In the end, England were on 498 for 3 by the end of the day, and it already looked like a mountain to climb for Zimbabwe in trying to limit England on day one. Brighton Jawi was at Trent Bridge for the match, and he gave us his take on day one.
Well, after 22 years, Zimbabwe finally get to game to play against England, and it was a tough day. They told England's top order, all of them scoring hundreds. Zimbabwe won the toss. It was nice and cloudy, and Ben Stokes said he would have also opted to field, but the wicket was flat in Zimbabwe. They were sort of guilty of not bowling enough good balls to create pressure, and under pressure, Zach Crawley managed to score his 100. And then Ben Duckett also scored his 100, and also another guy who was desperate for runs, Ollie Pope, got 100. So for England, exactly what they wanted. There were actually talks like, is England going to declare? But however, they continued to bet on wickets for Zimbabwe came through Wesley Madevere. We got the breakthrough Sikandar Raza, and later on more of a consolation wicket from Blessing Muzarabani. So it's a tough day, but it is a good batting wicket. That's what Zimbabwe can take out from this day one, and that's the challenge now. Can they do the same against a sort of inexperienced English side, but also, well, this is their conditions, so they know how to deal with them. And Zimbabwe are already on the back foot, but still game on. I think there's still everything to play for. We cannot decide this game on the first day, but for Zimbabwe, tough day after 22 years, but good occasion. Some Zimbabwean supporters trying to cheer them up, singing out loud as well, like common songs that we hear when at a race sports club, but that doesn't change the picture. It was England's day, as easy as that.
In football, Dynamos are back on the road as they travel to Baobab Stadium for a date with Ngezi Platinum Stars. Ngezi Platinum, who have had their first share of challenges, will find Socha Minuka's side difficult to beat as the coach seeks his first win since taking over at Dynamos. More in the following report.
Dynamos head coach Socha Minuka says his side has been doing well as they prepare to face Ngezi Platinum Stars this weekend. The side travels to face Ngezi Platinum side that has been blowing hot and cold, and Chaminuka is not letting his guard down ahead of the tough encounter.
Ngezi are a very difficult team to play, whether home or away. Our preparations have been going on smoothly. No injuries, no suspensions. I want to think we are good to going. Yeah, and we have just concluded our preparation for Saturday. And like I said, no injury, no suspension. We should be good too, taking the game to Ngezi. Right. They are at home, yes, we know. And we know how good they are. We know they're a strong team. But they will have to run for their money.
Chaminuka called for patience as he believes there is need to make sure that the team has enough depth and also to bring in a few reinforcements during the June transfer window.
To say the truth, it is too early for me to saying everything is now smooth. It's too early. We are preparing. Players, yes, are responding to training, but there's still areas that will need some time. And looking at the team, telling the truth, I think we don't have quality depth, and if we could have injuries, we may face serious problems. But fine, we have what we have, and we have to make do with what we have up until such a time we can probably bring one or two, three players to bolster our squad.
The two sides have been finding it difficult to register wins in recent times, and will be hoping to return to winning ways as they square off this weekend.
Still in football, FC Platinum take their unbeaten run to the Hart Stadium for a date against Yada this weekend. The Norman Mapeza coach side have only collected 2 wins in 12 matches with 10 draws, seeing them 10 points off the top. Despite the indifferent run, they remain steadfast in their philosophy and believes it is only a matter of time before the wins come.
The energy is there, the intensity of our training sessions has been there, so we know exactly where we are. And like I always say, it's all about belief. You just need to keep believing. Things will be right, definitely things will be right. We train according to sometimes our opponents will be playing, so our training sessions will be centered around that, how we want us to play, and how our opponents will also be playing. We're facing Yard and quality side. If you look at their performance in the last match against Tier-1, they did very well. You know, after going down to 9 men. If what I heard is correct. And coming out with the draw, it shows that they're a really good side, very organized side. So we know the challenge we're going to face on Saturday. But like I said, our training sessions will be brilliant. You can see the energy is there. The intensity of the session, you know, it was just brilliant.
Herentals are looking to cement their place in the top 4 by stretching their unbeaten run to 4 matches when they face Highlanders this weekend. The students broke into their top 4 after collecting 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 games, as well as being awarded 3 points after Quaker United failed to fulfill their Matchday 7 fixture. Highlanders are coming from defeat to ZPC Kariba, while the Herentals beat Ngezi Platinum Stars in their last outing.
The preparations are going on very well, and every player is ready to go and play, and I'm happy we do not have any injury worries, so we are ready. Yeah, we are confident. We always try to have our confidence in every game that we play, because at the end of the day what matters most is to try and get our the points in every game. So we are confident, and we hope it's going to work out when we go away.
ZIFA President Nqobile Magwizi has praised ZTN Prime for its diverse coverage of Zimbabwe's domestic top-flight league, the Castle Lager Premiership, saying it is critical for the growth and development of the game. This weekend, ZTN Prime takes its PSL coverage to the Low Veld for the first time, beaming live action from Chisumbanje and Triangle. Live coverage starts in Harare on Friday, with Scotland welcoming Chicken Inn to Rufaro. On Sunday, the team makes the long trip to Chisumbanje, where log leaders Moors FC are away to Green Fuel. Our Matchday 13 coverage concludes on Sunday, with Triangle taking on Manika Diamonds at Gibbo. Speaking on ZTN Prime's football magazine show, The Couch, on Wednesday, Magwizi highlighted ZTN's coverage as key to spreading the game to different parts of the country.
We're extremely grateful, I think, to ZTN and the work you guys have been carrying out over the past 3 months since the season started. I think it's commendable. And it's important to bring the game to every Zimbabwean. It's our priority as an institution to make sure that all Zimbabweans have equal opportunity to participate, to watch the game in their community, and to celebrate and to be inspired. So we are very, very happy. We've seen what you're doing. We are extremely grateful, because that helps us to even achieve some of the milestones we have set for ourselves as an institution. So kudos to you for this, and hopefully we can be able to make it more interesting as we go into the future. There's some collaborations with yourselves just to make it a bit more interesting even for other parts of the country where we have not seen it.
Now, match day 13 is around the corner, and ZTN Prime will this week make a trip down to the Lowveld for exclusive PSL coverage. Our broadcast will start with Scotland taking on Chicken Inn at Rufaro here in the capital on Friday. On Saturday, we are in Chisumbanje as Greenfield welcome log leaders Moors to the Greenfield Arena. Sunday, we are at Gebo where Triangle will take on Monica Diamonds. Elsewhere on Saturday, Quaker United host Tel 1, Ngezi welcome Dynamos, Bikita Minerals entertain ZPC Kariba, whilst Yada welcome FC Platinum. Action continues on Sunday as Caps United go up against Simbabora, whilst Highlanders entertain Herentals. And that's all we had for you on NewsPlus this Thursday evening. Join me just in a moment as I sit down with my guests on the chase as we discuss all things Africa as Africa Day slowly approaches. I am Faith Nyaude. Thank you so much for tuning in and for joining us. Good evening and pleasant viewing.